What's up, guys? Thanks for coming on in. It's Tobin here with you, and I appreciate you guys checking out the channel. If you guys could subscribe here, that'd mean a lot to me, and also to the WQAM YouTube page. Watch Tobin and Leroy weekdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Headed on down to the arena later today. Boots on the ground, dude, as it is Udonis Haslem night. I cannot wait for the Miami Heat to honor their longtime captain, three-time champion, hometown hero. Very excited and happy for UD to get this moment here tonight with the Atlanta Hawks in town. UD, of course, at one point made the Atlanta Hawks fans very angry by not letting them have Chick-fil-A sandwiches. He was like, "You are not getting 2 free throws on me." Shh. And they did not. They did not eat on Udonis Haslem's dime. We were celebrating a lot on the radio show today. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to tonight. D. Wade's going to be there. Jason Williams going to be there. Darrell Wright's going to be there. Shane Battier. Gogi is going to be in the building for that. Should be very intriguing to see all those legends there together. Very interesting thing happened today on social media while the radio show was going on, and that was Dejounte Murray, who has been in a lot of Heat rumors, has been tied to many teams, Lakers, probably the most prevalent one, but the Heat have been in there about kind of snooping around Dejounte Murray. I believe the things were initial talks, and it is Heat trade season. There's been things out there that have been interesting. You know, our boy Wes Goldberg had Jeff Fisher coached. Jake Fisher's a writer. Jake Fisher on his show, and he had said that Duncan Robinson, untouchable, that the 2 big assets that are out there for the Heat are Kyle Lowry and Nikola Jovic. Of course, Kyle Lowry's got an expiring deal, $30 million. Jovic, Serbian, 6'11", big-time Euro prospect. You know, would teams be into that? And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what are the Heat willing to really throw in a deal and, you know, really get teams giddy about their package, and what do the Heat really look for at this trade deadline? There's been a lot of fodder around Terry Rozier. Tyus Jones has been a popular name, but Dejounte Murray's probably the sexiest name out there. And it was interesting with Dejounte Murray because he posted on his Instagram today a photo, assuming from shoot-around, and it is of the Miami Heat rafters. Which, I mean, dude, first of all, Goosey's galore. Second, and I'm not even saying I'm going to, you know, you guys are saying, "Oh, Tobin, are you a changed man?" I'm not saying I'm not a changed man. I'm saying I am a changed man. I don't even really know what I'm saying. I don't think that was a sentence. But what I am saying is, that's intriguing. Why would Dejounte Murray decide on today of all days, where the Heat are taking on the Hawks? He's just coming off this buzzer beater. No Trae Young tonight, by the way, in the game. He's sick. So Dejounte Murray is posting on Udonis Haslem night of all nights a picture of the rafters. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, I was tagged on something that I was not aware of. I did not know that Dejounte Murray and Jimmy Butler had this big admiration for one another, but somebody had tagged me on this that had been around Instagram, and I'd seen the picture, but I'd never really looked into it. I've never read it. So it was a picture of Dejounte Murray, and it's from his Instagram. I don't know when, but it's from his Instagram, and I think it's back when he was on the Spurs. So this is Jimmy Butler a couple years ago. I'm imagining this picture's from. Because on the Instagram photo, he's still in a Spurs jersey. But Dejounte Murray posted, "Real ones only. You already know I appreciate you, dog," and tags Jimmy Butler on it. Well, okay, dude. All right. Well, let's go and see what the photo has to say. The autograph says on it, "Dejounte, my brother, I'm so happy and proud of you. One of my favorite players. Respect." I mean, he's got respect for him. And is one of his favorite players. Very interesting. So Jimmy Buckets loves him some Dejounte Murray. it appears. Dejounte Murray in the Heat's house tonight posts Heat rafters. You know it's going to be a Goosey's night because UD's getting his jersey. There's going to be Heat people all around. Dejounte Murray probably is going to get all the feels, just like when Jimmy Butler did when he was here for D-Wade's last home game. And he saw the response that he got. Is it possible that tonight could be a night that triggers something in these talks? I don't know. It's hard to say. But it is intriguing. There was a report that came out that had said that the Lakers and Hawks have discussed the framework of a Dejounte Murray trade. And I think a lot of people look at this, and then Dejounte Murray to the Lakers has kind of been the hot team. That's been the buzzworthy team. Clutch client. So for Rich Paul, that's his team. That's the Lakers. They're going to set him up in the right way. They're going to want to make something happen. But I don't know if that's such a thing as it used to be, because, you see the LeBron and the Heat starting to kind of mend fences, or have been mending fences for a while, but it seems as most mended as it has been. All the D-Wade love that has been there. When LeBron recently lost to the Miami Heat both times this year, both of them resulted in a lot of high praise for the Heat, then a lot of shots at his coach. So I don't know how much of that clutch thing is going to be an obstacle, as I'm sure in years past used to be. But they say the Lakers and Hawks have discussed the framework of a deal centered around D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and a 2029 first-round pick, and additional draft compensation for Dejounte Murray. Talks have since stalled, but they are expected to pick back up at the deadline, and that is from The Athletic's Jovan Buha, who covers the Lakers. And interesting. So you'd essentially be getting their first-round pick this year, D'Angelo Russell, who I'm sure they could probably flip for something else if they wanted to, and first-round pick. Would the Heat be in the market to do Lowry, who, strangely enough, the odds came out recently, and Kyle Lowry was favored to land with the Atlanta Hawks. So that's something that I guess, sometimes those odds have no idea what they're doing, and it can be very influenced by reports. But it was interesting to see that. The piece that I think is interesting with this is what young player would the Heat, because I think if I were the Heat, I would throw in Kyle Lowry, obviously, for the filler, right? And I would do picks. Would they throw in... I don't think they're going to trade Jaquez for Dejounte Murray. Would they do Jovic? Would I do Jovic? And I got to tell you, as much as I like Dejounte Murray as a player, I don't know if I can part with Jovic for him. I can't, personally. I can't part with Nikola Jovic for Dejounte Murray. So then you have to start asking yourself, well, would you give up multiple first-round picks? Would you do a 3 first-round pick deal for him? Would you do 2 first-round picks for him? It's a tough question, because you have to ask yourself with Dejounte Murray, does Dejounte, Tyler, Bam, Jimmy, that's going to be your – are you good with that? Is that good enough to win? Is that good enough with giving up your assets to win? I think it's good enough to win, but is it good enough? Is it good enough with the roll of the dice of you're getting rid of your assets for it? No Orca game, no nothing. But do the Heat also look at Dejounte? I think the fascinating thing with this summer is going to be, do they look at him after the summer that was, and they basically had everything set up for him, right? Damian Lillard saying he wants to come to the Heat, Damian Lillard ending up on the Bucks, right? So does this put the Heat in a different spot to go a different route to fill out their roster? Because I would say, look, if the guy has a good relationship with Jimmy Butler, seems like he'd be a great fit with his backcourt mate Tyler Hero. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing. I think the Heat have probably got a lot of push and pull on this, on where they got to be with these trade talks. But Dejounte Murray doing his best little Heat fan flirtation, dude. I've seen this move a million times. I've seen Bradley Beal do this We saw Dame Dollar do this, of course. Oh, I didn't mean to put Will Smith on in the background. Ooh. Bradley Beal, Mrs. Beal didn't mean to like that post about loving the beach. We know these cat and mouse games that can happen with players and social media trying to get fan bases riled up. I don't think that's going to push the Heat one way or the other. The Heat they march to their own beat. I think if the Heat fan had their way and they pulled every move that the Heat fans wanted them to pull out, they'd have no assets left. But are the Heat going to be willing to part with one of the young players, especially with Jovic starting more? It almost feels like I told you this, a couple games back. I was like, I think he's one Spo over, and you win Spo over. He called the pairing of him and Bam dynamic. Made me start to think like Spo's starting to see the vision of what it can be with Jovic. So I don't know what quality of player it has to be for them to part with him. I don't necessarily know if Jovic is if Dejounte is that tier. And that's not a knock on him saying that he wouldn't help this team and wouldn't be an improvement, and understanding they need to do something about that backcourt. They do. Either the rotation that they put it out there in, or improvements or switching or something. Some moves got to happen. This is going to be an interesting few days. It definitely will be. And an interesting lead up to the trade deadline.